Okay, so I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough on one of the new tools that we've added to our website. Now this tool is open to everyone. You don't have to be an AIMPAC member to access this tool. And the point behind this is to show people whether they're making or losing money on a job. It's been reported to us for a long time now that there's some agencies out there, there's a handful of them, that are only paying agents $30 for 3 attempts for process serving, or $40 and $50, insignificant amounts that don't actually cover the cost. Now last year we did write an article about this on the economics of process serving, and I thought it would be good to provide a tool so you can type in the information for the job that you get and work out whether you're losing money or making money. So with this tool, very simple, choose the job type, process serve, field call or repossession. Process service is going to put the cost up a bit more because you do have to get an affidavit, things like that. Now we can simply type in the address, so where your starting point is, type in the address and select it from the drop down, and then the address that you've got to be serving the person at. Make sure you do select it from the autocomplete, otherwise it won't work. Once you've filled out these 2 addresses, you can then click calculate route, and it will tell you how many kilometres, how much time driving, or you can manually override these fields and type in the kilometre distance. Number of attempts, so 3 is standard, so just select 3. Fuel, so we can select the type of fuel that we're using and then the current price. It will factor off the ATO 88 cents, but it will show you the actual cost of petrol consumption on the right hand side once it's been populated. And we can adjust the fuel consumption as well. Documents for printing, so type in how many pages you need to be printing, and if it's over the 10, it'll then calculate the cost for printing as well, or the charge for printing. Affidavit required, tick that as yes, and then you can put the location for the JP, or just put how many kilometres they are from you. After hours, we can tick that to adjust the rates. The licensing, so what state you're currently in, and it will factor in the cost of your licensing over the year per job. So, and it will use this field down here, how many jobs per year you get at this rate. If the client's provided a new address, you can tick that box. They shouldn't be providing you a new address though. When a job comes through for a process serve, repossession, field call, your job is just to go out to the address that they've provided. If they come back because you've been out to the address, they're no longer there, and they say, well, try a new address, they need to be closing off the old job, paying you for that job, and then issuing a new job out. But some clients do try to be a little bit tricky with that and try to just give you a new address. It's important to understand that the 3 attempts, it's up to 3 attempts. It doesn't mean you have to go out to an address 3 times. So if you serve someone on the first attempt, fantastic. That's more profit for you. So if you do 1 attempt and it shows that the person is no longer at that address, they can't use the excuse by coming back to you and saying, well, we're paying for 3 attempts, so you should be doing 3 attempts. No, you're getting paid for up to 3 attempts. If you resolve the issue on the first attempt by proving they're no longer at the address, they need to close the job, pay it, issue a new job. Client's offered rate, so if the client's offering you $30 for 3 attempts, we'll then put your $30 in there and click calculate. And this is where you'll see whether you're making or losing money, and then some recommended rates that we've put in there. Now these recommended rates are just based off of average stats in the industry. Some people charge more, some people charge less. This is where you really need to speak to an accountant to work out what the cost actually is for you to be conducting process serving and field calls and repossessions. So we can see here, warning, we put $30 is what the client's offering, so it's saying you're losing $138.05 on this job. Recommended rate is $220 plus GST, so $242, with a profit margin of $51.95 if you go by the recommended rate. So effective hourly rate, you're losing $51, and your take home is obviously nothing because you're losing money on the job. And then a bit of a comparison here, so what the client's offered, what the true cost is to you, and what the recommended rate is. And then we have a detailed breakdown. So based on the ATO 88 cents per kilometre, it's telling you what you should be charging per kilometre for that job, and then your actual fuel cost, and all these different breakdowns here. So the true cost, $168.05 for up to three attempts. And then we're giving some warnings down here to you if you are actually losing money. So if you're losing money at a $30 fee, yeah, $138.05 is what you're losing. True breakdown of cost, and then at 250 jobs per year, because that's what I've put in here, how many jobs per year on average, you're losing $34,000 or $34,500 essentially. Potential legal breaches. So this is something that not only your client who's issuing this jobs out, so whether it's an agency that's issuing out the process serving jobs, also their clients. So any bank, any insurance company, debt collection agency, law firm, whoever their clients are that are sending the job to the agency, who's then issuing the job out to you as a contractor, their clients are also at risk of being found in breach of these here. So in this case, Fair Work Act, so sham contracting, criminal wage theft, Modern Slavery Act, Independent Contractors Act. These are the breaches. It's then saying your time has value, because it does. So we look at the national minimum wage of $24.95 an hour, just your hourly rate, forget about the cost of doing the job, just your hourly rate alone, you should be getting $67.36. That's just the hourly rate. And then on top of that, your expenses to actually do the job. So if your profit margin isn't even at $67, you really need to consider what your rates are, what you're getting paid per job. And then we have a bit of more transparency on the coverage for the fuel cost. So I've put $2.50 in there because that's what the current rate is at the moment. The ATO do factor in at 27 cents per kilometre. So the fuel cost is saying at $2.50 is 25 cents per kilometre. So the ATO rate at 88 cents is actually factoring that in. So then we can save this as a PDF or copy this data into just raw text format. If you are getting forced to take jobs at $30 or $40 or $50 or anything below what the actual cost is to do your job, and again, this calculator is just a guide. You really need to talk to an accountant to factor in what your true cost is. On average, this is what it's saying. If you're forced to take work at a loss, the complaint form is there. Lodge a complaint. We can't action anything unless people are actually lodging complaints. So while we do get a lot of calls with people saying, yeah, we're getting ripped off, we're only getting paid X, Y, Z by these agencies, they're just allegations until evidence has been submitted. So if you lodge a complaint, if you're not happy, lodge a complaint, we can investigate it and then notify the government agencies that should be looking into it, like Fair Work and places like that. So that's it. Happy for everyone to use it. It's open to everyone. It's a direct link there, so no login required. Just jump in there and have a bit of a look. You can use that to help quote with jobs if you like, but like I've already said, you need to consult with an accountant to make sure your actual costs, you might have a larger vehicle that uses more fuel, further distances, or whatever the case may be, you do need to consult with an accountant to make sure what you're charging is actually covering your costs. This is all based on industry standard.